Nice Shorts theme song.
Nice shorts. Yeah.
Today we're going to talking more about the short called Glowberry by Jessica Fisher. And would you like to give us a little hint about the story?
I made the film Glowberry, which is about I actually have the puppet here, this
Oh,
little
yeah.
guy. His name is
Adorable!
Rubus Vaneberry, and he's the only berry creature in this special little village that's hidden underneath the raspberry vines that he doesn't glow. So the story follows Rubus as he tries to figure out how to glow and what glowing really means.
Where'd you get the name Rubus?
So rubus is actually Latin for brambles, which is like raspberries and all of that. So it just means raspberries in Latin, basically.
Hey, I like it. It's a fun name.
How does this story, like, how do you develop it with maybe the team or with your mentor?
Yeah, my mentors were super supportive because I made the film at Aardman Academy.
Hmm.
And so if I had any questions about kind of nervous about animating a shot, or I don't know if this is going to work out, I would take it to them and we'd kind of sit down and speak about what's the best way of making this work, but also staying on schedule and um, making sure that the film is gets completed as well, because it was like a short time frame. I think we had 8 to 10 weeks of shooting,
Oh,
Okay,
so
like,
wow.
how about pre-production? Like, so shooting is 8 to 10 weeks.
yes. And then pre-production were it was about like 3 months, I would say. So a lot of time building, and for me, needle felting. I was always needle
Oh,
felting. It was nonstop.
How many things did you do with Aardman?
So I did stop motion one to get a foundation in animation and
Mm.
specifically stop motion animation. And I found that really helpful. And then when I was able to do the in-studio stop motion, I was so glad I had that fundamental course because it really helped me animate and learn as I went.
you draw, you illustrate, you also already do stop motion shorts before Glowberry. What's the growth and difference with this production compared to the past experience?
Hmm.
Oh yeah, for this film, I actually made a animatic and storyboard, which I've never done before. I
Oh,
just as a new filmmaker, you learn as you go, and
okay.
it was really helpful to know and learn about animatics and storyboarding and seeing if it works before you put in all the work and make everything.
Wow.
So that was really fun to do and learn and make and draw out all these little scenes. And I'm like, hope this works. Hope it translates well on the screen when I animate it. On my other like little films that I made, it was just me
Hmm.
and the dragon frame. And I didn't really know what I was doing. It was just, you just do it in your room and you're like, wow, well, that's cool. And you figure stuff out as you go. But with Glowberry, it was way more, I think, way more professional and I really learned so much like making this film.
I like thinking that your original version of storyboarding was, well, what's the last onion skin and what's the next one?
It was exactly that. The onion skinning and I was like, I wonder, like 20 frames ahead, I didn't know what was going to happen.
Did you board one way and then when you're looking at it with the stage size and the shots, did you end up making different decisions in the moment based on that?
Oh, yes, I believe so. I was a little ambitious when I was drawing the boards and I wanted the hills to have little houses in them and like lights for it to be like a little
Yeah,
hobbit core. And
yeah,
then when I started building everything, I was like, no way, this is too much. And so I just made them regular hills, which I think I liked even more as I started
Oh,
to go
it
through the film.
it looked
But
awesome.
yeah, I could see it in my old storyboards because I couldn't go back and like really change it. But there'd be like lights going on, and I'm like, well, that's not gonna happen anymore.
Well, you did have some lights in there. I so
Yes.
I'm curious about how the testing went for that.
Yeah, so that was something I was quite nervous about until we started to run through some tests. So Nat Sales, he was our practical lighting person on set, and Nat really helped me figure out how to get these practical lights in the puppets and make sure that I didn't blow up Aardman with the lights that my puppets. don't start on fire because they were, sometimes the lights get hot and under the lights, you never know what's going to happen with
Yeah.
all that voltage. Um, but we did some tests. I would needle felt some sheets of green wool, and then we had a bunch of different practical lights, and I would have the light under the felt, and we'd see which light worked best, which
Mhm.
showed through the felt more, and then yeah, hiding the wires throughout the set was definitely a struggle because they were so long, and there's a scene where there's a, berry creature in a hammock. And that wire is all throughout the vine. I hid it underneath the felt and like just
Oh,
was
wow.
hiding all these wires underneath the grass and they were everywhere. And I was nervous that they would show, but the grass did a great job covering those wires up. There was only so much space that we had. It was an amazing amount of space, but I had the hills. I only had a couple of them, and I felt really just like eco-conscious while I was making these big styrofoam hills
Mm.
to kind of realize that I can use this and flip it, and then it looks like a completely different hill or rearrange it. So I only made a couple of them, like less waste, less product that you have to use, and it still works out the same.
Mm.
Wow.
So for set building, I was kind of conscious about that and really wanted to use what I had and just have like these little tricks. So if you can multitask your sets, then
About character design, I just want to ask, how do you deal with those so tiny expressions on those
Oh,
puppets?
oh yeah, yeah.
oh yeah. Oh
Yeah.
man. My advice would be have a little paper towel ready to wipe your hands because under the lights, I got all sweaty and
Ah,
I would lose the eyepieces. And I knew once it was out of my finger and off of the puppet, it's gone. Like I would never see it ever again. So
yeah.
the tacky wax, I believe it's called, that's what I
Mm.
used to stick on these tiny little hand sculpted pieces.
How did that work with the felt? As you kept swapping things out more and more, did it start messing with the felt?
Yes, it started messing with the paint on the face. I remember I was going to shoot and I was changing a face and then the paint like tore a little bit and I was
Oh,
like, oh
Oh,
no. So I just went in with a sponge and like patted back on the paint. And
yeah.
these were just issues that you just run into while you're going and you have to be quick on your feet to say, hey, I have some paint left over from when I was painting on the faces. So I'm just gonna sponge that in and the puppets definitely got a little wrecked as you go, like the plastic
yeah.
face and paint. But it was expected, and I think that's just like the charm of stop motion. As the story goes on, you see his face looks a little bit more not as smooth, but you do what you gotta do.
Yeah. You picked the right place for that kind of thing. Like Armin is like the hands-on touch place, so that's cool.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
your sequel could just be like all like post-apocalyptic zombie berries. So it
Oh
works
no.
out well. Yeah.
Oh gosh. I feel like people in stop motion have amazing ideas and it's such a physical thing. So,
Mm.
like they have a clear vision for it because it has to be made.
Yeah. And also not take it like seriously, but not overly seriously. Like having fun with it and realizing like how it's all this hard work, but to enjoy it is great.
Yes. There were some parts when I was animating at Aardman and someone like knocks on the unit and then, there's a big butt on my screen and I'm like, whoa, this is not what it looks like.
I'm curious about your mindset because you have a certain timeline. You need to finish the film. So, what is helping you to really, hey, we need to push forward, and make it done?
Yeah, I um was always looking at our schedule on the board. We had this big board that we would pin our shots on.
Mhm.
And we'd walk in, we'd know what we'd have to do for the day. And being able to see week by week what we're gonna shoot and what I need to be able to animate was really helpful. And I think it's so hard if you're a perfectionist and also an animator, you want to just redo the scene and you're like, I don't like that, I want to redo it. But the best thing is just to move forward. You can always edit your frames, take one out or duplicate one in Dragon Frame and so my mindset was just get it done, like try your best, and then move on. And if I have time at the end to reshoot, I will. But it's just important to just try your best while I was animating and not be so critical of yourself.
Yeah, thank you. Because it's for all of us, for filmmakers, and especially when seeing more like a student project, especially they're like so close to their heart. And it's so sad they didn't get to finish it.
Mm,
So that's why I feel like your message just helped them to try to adapt.
Yeah, it was really nice in the studio because the studio shuts down too.
mm.
They didn't want us there all night because it's just not healthy. You have to take breaks, you have to sleep. And I was very grateful that, we could be there till maybe like 8 at night, but then also go home, sleep, get ready for the morning.
You need to take a mental break and not work until the sun comes up. You will crash out. I noticed something in your credits. You come with a built-in sound and music person.
Oh, my brother.
Yeah, I saw the same last name and all the projects. I'm like, that's cool. Like, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, my brother Joe Fisher, he is like a sound engineer and he also loves to like make music and he was my composer. And when we were both at home and I was in college and working on like my films in my home and in my room, I would knock on his door and be like, "You ready to do some music?" And like boop 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 boop. And I would have like this tune in my head and he could translate it super well. And yeah,
Love
it's
it.
great to have a brother like Joe because he understands like I'm not very musically inclined the way he is. So I'm like doo doo and he's like doo 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 doo. I'm like, yeah, that sounds great.
So possibly in the future, continue to collaborate, you think?
Oh yes. Oh, for as long as we can do that, for sure. Yeah, I think
I
Joe did amazing with the music. Every time I listen to it and I'll look at him and be like, yeah, yes.
please keep it going. Yeah, it's great for composers to just be able to ride someone's coattails because we don't animate ourselves. So it's nice to be able to just cruise along. And it's cool that you guys weren't fighting while you were home living together. You were actually just making stuff together.
Yeah, yeah. We were always making like songs and stuff. So it was fun to do it for a film instead of just random things that we would
Yeah.
just like make up.
How do you find the voice, the narrator?
Oh yeah, so that was David Holt. And
Okay,
I had Will Beecher recommend him because I
okay.
wanted someone that just had like this relaxing kind of like documentary type of voice and he suggested David, so we had a little meeting and when he was talking, just on the meeting, I was thinking, "Oh yeah, like this could work. This is perfect." And then he, went to Aardman and we had a recording session and he did a wonderful job.
Yeah. You can't go to
Oh.
the UK and not do an Attenborough type vibe, you know?
Yes, exactly.
You show some behind the scenes and the process of how you make this film. Like even you share some animatic, you also share how do you build a set. Like before watching your film, we start to feel related. So I'm curious, like for the promotion for your film, that part, that's something you're gonna do this for more people to see your film, or do you get any inspiration or advice from somebody to say, hey, you have a film, you need to do this part as well?
Yeah, I think I wanted to just document how the film was made
Hmm.
and if I could share my like advice and kind of share with other people on how to make like a hill or like you see it in
Yeah.
the film and this is how it was made. I find it so helpful because I also love watching videos on how to make stop motion
Mm.
things. So I guess it's a mix of maybe marketing, but also putting like Glowberry out in the world and to hopefully have other people learn from it and because I was learning and it was so helpful to have videos and people and mentors teaching me. And yeah, just it stands as a documentation of the film, but also, yeah, a little bit of behind the scenes and some marketing too. It felt good just to hear people laugh, and that's really all I wanted to do was make people smile and laugh. It's a silly story, but it's also heartwarming, and I hope when you're done watching it, you get some laughs out of it, but also you get inspired to go out into the world and spread some more love.
I'm gonna avoid, 'cause I'm sure you've already heard a million times, very good puns.
Oh, I use it all the time. I love
Nice.
it. When people come up to me after the screenings and they were like, Very good. I'm like, yes.
Every single berry creature in this entire village has the special ability to glow. Oh, right. All except for one. Meet Rubus Baneberry.